What if your body was a gift and contribution to your life and not something that you've been stuck with? What if your body could change quickly and easily? Right Body for You will inspire you and show you a different way of creating the body and the life you truly desire. Now here's your host, Donnielle.
And good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. Welcome to Right Body for You. I am your host, Donnielle. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening because I don't know what time zone it is because I'm in, where am I? Italy. Yes, folks, sometimes it is one of that days when you're not sure where you're waking up. I think my body wants to still be asleep in our bed in Utah. So, it kind of makes you think like, oh, maybe I am in Utah because my body wants to be there. But I'm in Italy. I'm here for some not Right Body for You. Right Body for You in Italy is in November. Right now, it is Italy for the Access Consciousness Certified Facilitators class, and Dr. Dane here of Access Consciousness first year of Being You Facilitators class. So that's going to be a lot of fun in Florence. Woohoo! I've been to Italy many times, and I've not been to Florence yet, so that's kind of exciting. I go there later. Starting off in Rome. I know, so sad to start off in Roma, which is where, coincidentally, the Right Body for You in November will be. We'll be in Rome in Italy. Well, obviously, because Rome is in Italy. So... Well, this Rome is in Italy. I know there's a Rome in, Georgia, too, or something like that. Anyways, I ramble. Welcome to Right Body for You. It's a different type of show with, trust me, a different type of host. It's been my pleasure to be a part of radio for 30 years. And while not quite the shock jocks of the 80s, I know I'm a little strange. And I like it that way. I used to judge the crap out of myself for how strange I used to be. I was definitely one of those insecure little girls who was like, I just want to fit in. Why can't I be like everybody else? And you know what? I wasn't. Luckily, I had a brilliant mother. Still have, I guess. She just left her body. Who, those conversations are like, I just feel different from everybody else. I don't fit in. And she was like, well, honey, you know what? You're a little bit different than everybody else, but that's okay because you're unique. You're special. She never made it a wrongness. And she actually helped me see that it was just that I was more willing to ask questions of the world, more willing to see different things that are possible. She's like, anybody can follow what everybody else is doing. She goes, it takes a strong, unique person to be able to be the difference, to be willing to stand out. And while I appreciated her words and, when I was in the midst of high school, those of you who are living in different countries, high school in the U.S. are the teenage years, so I'm sure you all have that somewhere. While I did listen to what she said and I took it in and I'm like, okay, and it actually at least added some more questions to my universe, I didn't really fully hear them until years later. And that is one of the great things about Access Consciousness is it talks about what if you're not as screwed up as you think you are. And you know what? It's okay to be different. And Access Consciousness is because Right Body for You, name of the show, name of the book, name of my workshops, is a division of Access Consciousness. Access Consciousness is an energetic set of tools and techniques to help you change any area that you desire to. And Right Body for You is created to focus on the body aspect because I don't know about you, but I had a ton of body things. One of my favorite things to judge myself was about my body. I was a master at it. If there was one thing I really excelled at in school, and I had good grades in school, I was a good student. I was smart, good grades. I wasn't, top of the class, but I was top-ish of the class. I couldn't be top of the class because then I would have stood out too much. See the thing here? Anyways, so while I was really good at school, one thing I really did excel at was judging my body. Anybody else ever do that kind of stuff? Right, exactly. Which is still why it cracks me up daily to have everything I do for quote unquote a job or a living have the word body in it. I do the Right Body for You radio show. I do the Right Body for You workshops. I'm a part of the Right Body for You. I coordinate Right Body for You. I'm a part of the Right Body for You book. I'm the Access Consciousness Worldwide Body Class Coordinator, and it just cracks me up because I hated the fact that I had a body. Hated it, judged me. That was a weak spot in my armor, like what you present to the world. And what was interesting is I spent years, probably most of my life until 8 years ago when I started Access Consciousness, which 8 years ago this month, woohoo! It's anniversary month. Isn't that interesting? Of Access Consciousness class is 8 years. Can't believe it's been 8 years. Wow. How time does fly. It's wow, 8 years. Let me take a second. It seems like yesterday I started. And it's so funny because when I took my first Access Consciousness class, I never thought I would end up here. Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, always says, it shows up differently than what you expect. Well, let me tell you, it shows up differently than I expected. I mean, I was a promotion manager for a TV station. I took some time off to take care of my grandparents, and then in theory, I was supposed to go back to TV, thought about opening up a bookstore instead, and now I'm a certified facilitator for Access Consciousness, Right Body for You facilitator, traveled the world. I had to get a new passport because it was full, not because it expired, but because it was full. And it's so interesting to see where life takes you. Wow, 8 years, a little bit of a difference, and I love it. I'm so grateful for that. So today we're talking about, and all this really ties into it. Today our subject is, have you already chosen to fail today? And I love this topic because how I talked about mastering judging my body. I was also a master at failing constantly. So, the description says, so what do you often do? I'll start today. It doesn't matter if I'll start tomorrow. It doesn't matter if I wait one more day. Is that true, or are you already choosing to fail? How often does today not become tomorrow? How do we change the cycle? What does it take to start today? So how I was mentioning that I was really good at judging my body? Well, I was always on a diet, right? I was always like, oh, my body needs to change. I need to lose weight so I can be acceptable and, people can like me, and then I can find a boyfriend, and then I can get the right job, and then I could be seen, but, it starts with this diet. And, and it's interesting. We do all these reasons. Like I was just listing, it's like, oh, I'll do this, I'll go on a diet, I'll lose weight, and then I'll have a cute body, and then I can attract a boyfriend, and then I can get the right job, and then I'll just be happy. And then I'll get some cute clothes, and then I'll make some more money because I'll be able to be seen. So we have all these reasons and justifications for starting up to diet or starting to heal, or whatever it is that we're holding on to as the path or what we think will get us what's on our list. And then what's interesting is how often do we do, oh, well, you know what, I'll start tomorrow. Or, you know what, I'll start Monday. The old proverbial diet thing. I'll start Monday. I'll just get through the weekend. And then, it'll start Monday. Fresh of the week, perfect timing. I'll start at the beginning of the week. And then, I might as well live life this weekend because Monday morning I'm starting a diet. So, you know what, I'm going to eat that entire cake because it's not going to make a difference because Monday I'll be on a diet. And so it really won't have that long, to like last and stay on my body because it'll be gone Monday, right? Because I'm starting Monday. So I'm just going to eat that whole cake and I'm going to eat all of that. And no, I'm not going to start the movement like I like. And no, I'm not going to do any of that. I'll start Monday. That'll be okay. And then Monday comes and you wake up and you're like, oh, you know what? I didn't prepare the food. Oh, screw it. I'll start tomorrow. I won't be that bad today. I'll just start tomorrow. And yeah, that'll be easier. And then I'll come home tonight and I'll prepare and I'll plan. I know I should have planned over the weekend, but I didn't plan. So I'll start tomorrow. It'll be okay. This will be a good 4 days before the weekend and and that kind of stuff. And then, tomorrow, Tuesday comes and you're like, oh my gosh, I completely forgot I had this meeting. So I don't have time to eat the good breakfast, or I don't have time to do the exercise. I forgot this meeting. I have to go in an hour earlier. I should have got up an hour earlier, but I forgot. So I'll start tomorrow. Hump day. Yeah. With what we call Wednesday in the States sometimes. Hump day. I'll start on hump day. That'll be good. Halfway, midpoint, because we're always trying to find these patterns. And so, and then like, okay, so, and then, Wednesday comes and you have another reason and justification for not starting it, right? Or you did start. It's like, okay, well, I did good with breakfast, and then at lunch, the company decides to we're buying everybody pizza for hump day because you guys did such a good job on this project and blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, wow, yeah. How I would look like an idiot. I would stand out. I was eating celery while everybody else was eating pizza. Then I was on a diet. I can't let people know I'm on a diet because even though I know they're judging me because I'm too fat, I would be judged by eating something that's not making me fat. So I can't let them do that. So, I'll just eat the pizza today. It'll be fine. And then at dinner, I'll eat something else. It'll be okay. And then you do this. I guess it's Thursday and Friday. You're like, screw it. Now it's the weekend. I might as well just have fun, and I'll start tomorrow. Does that sound like anybody else's life, or was that just my life when I was younger? Okay. In the chat room, they're saying how many people choose to take meds, wondering why they feel like they're going insane, because they're always judging themselves constantly. I mean, the amount of chatter you have in your head, judging yourself about the rightness and wrongness of every single action, the rightness and the wrongness of the rightness. In Access, we like to ask, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Okay. We're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Well, what if you couldn't fail, and how you actually start today? What does it take to actually start today? Well, we're going to talk about that when we come back. So this is Donnielle. This is Right Body for You. We're on A2Zen.fm, and we'll be right back.
What if your body could be an ease and not a burden? What would life be like if you could enjoy your body? What if changing your body was easier than we've been taught? And what if it's not about the latest fad? Join Donnielle each week on Right Body for You as she explores what bodies are and the ease of change that's possible. Each week, you will receive inspirational stories of those who've used the Right Body for You energetic tools to change their body and the tools that they used, tools that you can begin to use immediately. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on A2Zen.fm.
What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if you're far greater than you've ever given yourself credit for? What if it's time to know the gift and the contribution you are to the world and to like yourself a lot more? Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. Asking questions opens doors to infinite possibilities. And it's not about finding the answer. It's about being the question. Always. What I'm inviting you to step into is something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Newton, Da Vinci, Gandhi, Picasso, and Aristotle all knew to be true. What if no question is too big or too small? What if anything is possible for you? What if together we could create a kinder, gentler, happier world? Is now the time? Go to beingyouclass.com and sign up for a free video series, My Gift to You. beingyouclass.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change this world requires? beingyouclass.com.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8763 or UK 4433-0001-0625. You can Skype us at A2Zen.fm. Or if you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle at accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I am Donnielle. I am your host. And today, your rant leader. In the first segment, I was kind of giving an example of what my life used to be like. I would love to say I was pulling that one just out of your guys' heads. That, it wasn't something that I've ever done, but, I have. I did that daily, I think, I'll just start tomorrow. And because I was always on a diet. So that's the topic today. Have you already chosen to fail today? Okay. I heard this, Simone Millicis, who does Joy of Business with Access Consciousness, and she's the worldwide coordinator of everything with Access. She does these brilliant business classes, and I'm going to have her on here in the next couple months. I'm talking about business and bodies. Woohoo! And it was so interesting because I was in New Zealand at Choice of Possibilities class, which is an Access Consciousness core class. And so I was at this class, and some weird stuff happened with the body class coordination stuff that I do. And I had kind of a weird tizzy interaction moment with this woman, and I reacted. Access Consciousness is about asking questions, not about reaction. And hey, I use the tools, so I admit it. I reacted, and I was in I was in a tiff. I was in like, and I even scared my two roommates, and they're like, "Okay, you're scary right now." Like, and so Simone had this Joy Business Taster class that night, and I'm like, I don't want to go. And it was struck me at the insanity of it. I was having a problem in business, yet I was refusing to go to the business class. Like, And luckily I had half a brain or something, so I asked a question. I'm like, okay, will this class facilitate me? And it's like, yes. So I went to the class, sat in the back of the room, so Simone couldn't really see me, and just folded my arms and scowled. And not at Simone, but just in life in general, right? And it was so interesting because she asked this question. She's like, well, in the business, she's like, she goes, those days you procrastinate or whatever. She's like, is that the day you've chosen to fail? And I just went, I had just chosen to fail by reacting to this woman. And it was, instantly went away. And I'm like, yay, the tools, awareness, how to get better than that? And I really started working this element into the Right Body for You as well. Because it's like we do this. I gave you an example of the what a week in my life used to be like when I was always dieting, right? And now, whenever I come up to something that I'm about to push it off. Oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. It's okay. I'm like, oh, is this the moment I've chosen to fail? And it really stops me up short, because with that kind of question, what you want to do is you're asking to perceive the future. Because what if today does count? What if you don't have to start on Monday? What if you can start right this second? And, and with that, so it's like, look at that. Next time you're doing anything, it could be a diet, it could be a project, it could be exercise, which I like to call movement instead of exercise. It could be, a way to make money, or, it could be anything. Is this the moment? It's like, it could be that 100th time you've hit snooze. Might have been me this morning. All right, I only hit it twice. But, you can ask, is this the moment I'm choosing to fail? And when you're vulnerable with yourself, again, this is not to get you to judge yourself. Please, you guys, please, 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 no. Right Body for You radio show is not about getting you to judge yourself. Right Body for You is about getting you to be aware of what your choices are creating, okay? And then not to judge that, if whatever it is. And so this is where you want to ask, is this the moment I am choosing to fail? And, and it's interesting because fail has a ugly connotation to it, we think, oh my gosh, failure. What are we, I'm such a failure. We spend most of our lives going, I'm such a failure. And so sometimes you got to wonder, it's like, did we do something to fail today, or did we do something to not fail today? Okay? And so this is one of my favorite questions now, is this the moment I'm choosing to fail? And it's a question just for the awareness, okay? Because all it's allowing you to do is going to the awareness and perception of the future that choice in place is creating, okay? This actually, excuse me, this actually has a very similar energy to, if I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years, 50 years, 100 years? If I don't choose this, will my life be like in 5 years, 50 years, 100 years, which is another tool of Access Consciousness. And that also is a great tool, because basically you're asking, because life is a series of choices. It really is. I chose to do the show, when I signed up a year and a half ago or whatever it is. I chose to do the show today. I choose every day to still do the show. I chose to wake up and do the show. There's always choices to everything. People are like, well, you have to get up because you had it scheduled and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, are you kidding? I could have turned around and gone, you know what, I'm not getting up. Just go ahead and do a old show, a canned show, or I can't even think of the name right now. A previous show, a replay. There we go. That's the word, replay, encore. Yes, thank you, Keisha. I could have done a replay, could have done an encore, and I have these choices constantly. One of my favorite things to do in the Right Body for You classes is to play the choice game. And what I mean by this is people always think there are some things they have no choice in. And so in class, I'll be like, okay, give me something you have no choice in, and I help people to see the choices. And what's interesting is so often people aren't willing to see the choices available because they don't like the results that choice would create. Because one of the ones that almost always excuse me, got water in my windpipe during the break. One of the favorite things that people always, when I say play the choice game, they bring up is like, well, you have to pay rent or a mortgage because there's just no choice in that. You have to do that. And it's really interesting because I'm like, not really. You could not pay rent. You could not pay a mortgage. You could go live on the streets. There is a choice. You choose every day to pay rent because you're choosing not to live on the streets. Like, do you want to live on the streets? They're like, no, are you kidding? That's not even a choice. I'm like, it is a choice. You could literally walk out the door of your home right now and go live on the streets and never pay rent again. And they just kind of look at me and kind of blink. I'm like, would you choose that? And they're like, no. I'm like, exactly. You're not choosing that. You're choosing. And so in essence, you are choosing to pay rent every day. You are going, yes, I will pay rent. I will do a mortgage because I don't want to choose to live on the street. I'm like, or you could go live with your mother. You could go live with your kids. I would never do that. Right, so you're choosing to pay rent and pay mortgage. And they're like, oh. And what's interesting is because sometimes we do that. We so don't like the other choices that we're not even willing to see them. People are like, I wouldn't live with my kids. So it's not even a choice of possibility in their universe, but it is a choice, okay? Life is a series of choices constantly. You can always choose something different, even if it's just how you react to things, okay? So life is a series of choices. And so when you ask this question like, is this the moment I'm choosing to fail? It's like, okay, with this choice in place to not start today or to eat this, go against my body or, not talk to that person or whatever it is, it's like, is that the moment you've chosen to fail? I did that with the founder of Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas, the other day. I talked with Gary several times because of business and whatnot. And I was listening to one of his calls the other day, and some stuff came up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to talk to him. I need to tell him I'm in on this project. And it was a personal project, and so it was so funny because as soon as it wasn't about business, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't call him. I can't say that. And I'm like, no, my future requires being a part of this program. It was just like one of those moments where you're like, no, I have to be a part of this. I have to be a part of it. And I'm like, well, I have to call him. And it's a body program, right? And I'm like, I have to call him and tell him that I'm in on this. And I'm like, no, I'll do it later. Right? There we go. I'll do it later. I don't have to do it right now. And so I actually asked myself this question. I'm like, is this the moment I am choosing to fail by not calling him right now, by not following that awareness, that energy of do it right now, call him right now. Like, no, I don't want to bother him. He just finished this 90-minute call with all these people. I'm not going to bother. No. And I'm like, okay, nice reason and excuse. Is this the moment I'm choosing to fail? And you know what? I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm choosing to fail right now. I'm choosing to not create my future by not calling Gary right now, right this moment. And so I did. I podpocked everything. I'm like, okay, just friggin' call him, which is so funny because I talk to him all the time. But it's like when we're asking for something or sometimes when we're creating our future, it's like how we get so hesitant about that. And isn't that silly? So I podpocked it all and I called him and I'm like, hey. He's like, yes, sweetheart. And I'm like, I just want to let you know I was listening to the call, blah, blah, and I'm in on this program. He's like, yes. He goes, of course you are. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I just had to tell you. He's like, of course, And so we just chatted for a second, and he was so amused, and it was really cool, you guys. And I'll tell more about all of this in the next coming months. But it was really funny because he was so amused, and I could totally feel the energy on it. I'm like, why is he so amused about this? And I'm like, okay, well, thanks. And he's like, yeah, of course, honey, talk to you later, blah, blah, blah. And so what was really funny, I'm like, why was the energy so funny on that? Because I was like, I'm choosing my future, and yes, I need to be a part of this program, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, I was required to call him that moment, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and so then I started judging myself because we're all cute that way. I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't have. Well, I'm like, no. And I kept going back, like, no, it was definitely required that I, call him and all this kind of stuff. So I find out later because I finished listening to another class. I wasn't at it physically, but I was listening to audios. And I find out the reason Gary had been so amused is because he already announced I was a part of it. And so I just hadn't caught up to what everybody else knew. But it was really cool that I'm really glad that I created doing it in that way, because you do really, with your choices you create your everyday. Okay. I was really glad that I created it in that way, in that I hadn't been to that class, so I didn't hear him announce that. And so when I heard him talk about later, I called him and I'm like, I'm a part of it. I choose it. He's like, okay. For me, I really chose it. It wasn't a work assignment then. It wasn't something, I'm just doing because somebody else told me to. Nope. I chose it. I'm a part of this. My energy is there, and I don't have anybody else to point to going, well, I'm just doing this because I'm supposed to. It's like, nope, I chose it. I'm a part of it. My energy's there, and it created my future. Okay? So it's like, what choice can you make today that would create the future you're asking for? Okay? And that choice could be something simplistic, you guys. It could be choosing to get out of bed. It could be choosing to have a cup of coffee. It could be choosing to not have a second cup of coffee. It could be not drinking water into your windpipe today. Who knows? But what I'm saying is your life is a culmination of choices. You can always choose again, but it's like, what can you choose today to create the future you are asking for? Okay? We're going to take a quick little break. I'm going to leave with that question. What can you choose today that would create the future you're looking for? Okay? And it doesn't allow that to try and create it. Right on Good Bad Talk on Irish Boys and Beyond. Okay, this is Donnielle. We're on A2Zen.fm, and we'll be right back.
What if your body could be an ease and not a burden? What would life be like if you could enjoy your body? What if changing your body was easier than we've been taught? And what if it's not about the latest fad? Join Donnielle each week on Right Body for You as she explores what bodies are and the ease of change that's possible. Each week you will receive inspirational stories of those who've used the Right Body for You energetic tools to change their body and the tools that they used, tools that you can begin to use immediately. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on A2Zen.fm.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that, when run, assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8763 or UK 4433-0001-0625. You can Skype us at a2zen.fm. Or if you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle at accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. Sorry, I was Skyping with people during the break and laughing, which I know is shocking. If you've never heard my show, laughter is rarely a part of it. Joking, sarcasm, all of the above. All right, so welcome back. Today we're talking about, have you already chosen to fail today? We do this so well. Oh, I'll just start tomorrow. I'll start next week. I'll start after the vacation. After the stress of this project is over, then I'll start eating better or doing whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so, a couple of questions I've given you today to help change that. Is the first one, is this a moment I'm choosing to fail? What? Fail? Yes. Life is a series of choices. Okay? And so my next question is, what choice can I make? What choice can you choose today that'll create the future you're asking for? Okay? So you want to start looking at that. What choice can you make today? And it could be the choice of still being here. I know people who have been on the verge of suicide, and every day they're like, okay, today I still choose to be here. And, and you guys, and that's an interesting choice, because I so believe and know that death is a choice. I have seen it repeatedly. When I was taking care of my grandparents, I fully saw the day my grandfather chose to die, and 4 days later he was gone. I saw my mom choose to die, and then she was gone. It's really interesting, this whole death is a choice thing, because you know what? That means you're choosing to live today. Okay? Ponder that one for a second. You're choosing to live. You woke up. You stayed and came back to your body after sleep, and you woke up. You're a part of this world. So it's like, what if you didn't judge this world today? Might that not make a better future and a better day? Might that create the future that you're asking for if you didn't judge the world today? Because you know what? You're choosing to be here. Doesn't mean you can't be you and change the world, like our wonderful our friend Dr. Dane here talks about. Absolutely. Be you, change the world. But what if you can change it more by not judging it? Okay? How much of you and the world do you hide when you judge it? Okay? Interesting concept. I didn't plan on going here, but there you go. So it's like, if you judge something as wrong, or if you judge something as right, you start to cut off your awareness. And that, you guys, it's really the big thing about judgment, is when you judge something, you begin to cut off your awareness around it, about it. You stop receiving information. So when you judge you're stopping to receive information. When you judge the world, you're stopping to receive information. And so you actually have more of a difficult time choosing things, changing things, because you're lacking some information. And so, how much more of the world can you change if you're not judging it? And therefore, how much more of you can you change if you're not judging you, if you're not judging your body? Okay? Everything that brought up, sir, and ungraded. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, buckle, night, shirts, boys, and beyond. A topic for another day, apparently. So today I'd like to get back to this, have you already chosen to fail today? Okay? Well, I guess it's not back. It's all a continuation. So when you say, well, just screw it, I'll start it tomorrow. So you discount today, right? And what happens when you discount today? You actually start less tomorrow. And that's really something I've had to become aware of in my life, because, I used to go, well, it doesn't matter. I'll just start tomorrow. No big deal. But you know what? It kind of is a big deal, because it's like, say you're this is my experience from dieting all these years. Okay. So say you're on a scale of 1 to 10, you're at a 9, and you're like, screw it, I'll just start tomorrow. Well, tomorrow, you may not still be a 9. You may just be an 8.9. You could be like slowly sliding down that scale. So what if today does count? And what I mean by that is, what choice can you choose today that would create the future? Okay? And this is not to get you to do more. Okay? Let me dispel that notion right now. I'm not saying that, when you do this, well, of course, every day you'll do more and your life will get busier and busier and busier, because there's a lot of people who are like, I don't want to do anything today. And you know what? That could be a choice that's creating your future, really. Like last night I did this call. I facilitated this call, and it was a fantastic call. It was a slew of people on there, and it was intense. It was on Shattering the Life Body Image, which hopefully it'll be in my shop real soon, so you guys can, purchase it if you'd like. And there was a lot of energy on it. And so after the call got done, and then I talked to a few people, and then I had dinner because my body was requiring the food. And after dinner, I sat on the couch, and I'm like, I need to create my flyer. I need to answer some emails. What choice can I choose right now that would create my future? And what was interesting is it wasn't getting up to finish my flyer. It wasn't getting up to finish the emails. It was actually taking a bath and going to bed. True story. So what I'm saying is, sometimes, please don't be afraid to ask this question, because you're afraid of what the outcome will be. Because if you're willing to be vulnerable, the outcome will be whatever is actually required. It's not always about the work, the job, the doing. Asking this question is about the being, what you be. And I asked this question to a friend of mine the other day. I'm like, well, what choice can you make right now that would create the future you're asking for? And she goes, to be me. I'm like, exactly, hello, which, made sense to her, because she, in the circumstance that we were talking about, she wasn't being her. Okay, she was being somebody else. And so asking this question is about the energy. It's not to get you to do more. I could hear you guys out there going, are you kidding? My to-do list is already so long. You want me to add more to-do list? No, it's to get you to look at the energy, and it's what you be. Okay? And here's another quick thing. It's like, what does it take to start today? One of the things I love about Right Body for You and Access Consciousness tools is changing your point of view, flipping it 180. And how often does this changing your point of view change everything? Almost every time. And so for me, I like to look at this as like, because part of the description of the show is like, what does it take to start today? And I'm instead going to ask, what would it take to stop? And what I mean by that is, if you can't start if you never stop. People don't stop. It feels like when I ask people, like, well, how would you stop? They're like, stop what? I'm like, just stop. They're like, what? Sometimes that isn't, when I ask it with that kind of question, they're like, I can't, what do you mean stop? I'm not stopping. Exactly. So if you never stopped, you don't have to start. I know. I fried you all a little bit with that one. It's like, what? Okay, so we're going to take our last little break. When we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit more about this never stopping and never starting, just being. Wah, wah. All right. This is Donnielle. This is Right Body for You. We're on A2Zen.fm, and we'll be right back.
What if your body could be an ease and not a burden? What would life be like if you could enjoy your body? What if changing your body was easier than we've been taught? And what if it's not about the latest fad? Join Donnielle each week on Right Body for You as she explores what bodies are and the ease of change that's possible. Each week you will receive inspirational stories of those who've used the Right Body for You energetic tools to change their body and the tools that they used, tools that you can begin to use immediately. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on A2Zen.fm.
When you're pondering the big questions like, is there more than this? How can I have a happy relationship? What would it take to like my body? And how do I make more money? Where do you go for information and tools? Check out the online store at accessconsciousness.com. Accessconsciousness.com has books, DVDs, instant video and audio downloads, online classes, and so much more. Subjects include abuse, changing your body, recovery, raising children, business techniques, tools to generate more money, how to have better sex and healthier relationships, just to name a few. At accessconsciousness.com, you can also find facilitators who teach local classes on a variety of subjects. accessconsciousness.com, your one-stop shop for tools to assist you in changing your life. All of life comes to us with ease, joy, and glory. Go to accessconsciousness.com to learn more.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8763 or UK 4433-0001-0625. You can Skype us at a2zen.fm. Or if you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle at accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back to Right Body for You. I'm Donnielle. I'm your host. I am your turn your point of view 180 on its head, completely change that today. Right before the break, we were talking about what would it take to start. And it's like, well, what if you never stopped? So it's like, for me, this is an interesting concept I like to play with. It's like, well, stop being you. Just stop. Go ahead. You can't, right? You can pretend to be somebody else. You can pretend to be pathetic in aspects of it. But you can't ever really stop being. And so if you're not stopping being, then how can you start being? You just are you. And the same goes for the life you're living. There's really only one way I know of to stop living this life, and I'm not choosing death. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not choosing death today. So it's like all these little things are just like, oh, I'm so bad because I didn't start the diet today. I'm so bad because I didn't start this project today. Well, it's just like time and the days of the week have been divided up into these different, well, this is Tuesday, this is Wednesday, this is Thursday, Well, what if, but if you look at it, is there a division? Because is time real? No, time isn't real. Time is just something we've made up so we know when to be to class or, things like that. So judge ourselves for being late. Like I had a dream last night about being late to a class, right? Crazy stuff. And so it's like, if you, wow, my train completely just left the station without me. You can't, so your life isn't this division of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, for me, I used to be in that work, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then Saturday and Sunday, I had off, a weekender thing. Sometimes I worked on Saturdays because I was a promotions, and so I had to work on Saturdays, but most of the time it was like Monday through Friday, and then Saturdays were like, oh, I can't believe I have to work on Saturday, but Sunday is my day, nobody better bother me, blah, blah, blah. And now I have no concept of a week. I know when I do my shows on Wednesdays, and then after that, it's like I have no idea because I'm so often doing classes on the weekend that's just my work day. I had a 5:30 meeting the other morning, and so it's like that concept of dividing the week into a work week, a play weekend, or the whole Monday, Tuesday division, it's gone for me. It's just kind of my life. I know when to sleep. I know when to wake up. I know when to be on the plane. I know when to be in class and things like that. And sometimes the months are going away. So it's like it's just a flow. So why do we have this desire to divide things into starts, stops, ends, beginnings? What if it's just your life you're living? So it's like, play with that just a little bit. It's like, what if you never started because you never stopped? Truth. Are you living your life? Yeah, you're living your life. Cool. Then, you can make choices to be on a diet or do a project or something like that. But, you're already started it. And here's the other thing, because it's like the moment you choose it, the moment you start having it in your awareness, the moment you start that conversation with your body, you've already begun it. You've already started it, for lack of a better word. It's like it's already there. It's already in your universe. It's already being created. So you don't have to, quote unquote, start it, because you started it a long time ago, when you chose to start living your life. So what if you never had to start because you never stopped? Okay? So those are the questions and concepts for today of like, have you already chosen to fail? What would it take to start? Well, first question, is this the moment I'm choosing to fail? Second question, what choice can you choose today that will create the future you're asking for? And then, what if you never had to start because you never stopped? You guys, my life is in full progress. It's ever flowing, ever evolving, ever changing. And so it's been fun to see how things come up and then they go away. It's all following the energy that, I used to think I was scatterbrained, that I couldn't finish one project. And now I realize it's just me following the energy of what is required when. And that's a big topic. And I think I've talked about that with Diva Diaz on some of the shows, if you want to check out the shows I did with her. So check that out. And you guys, while I'm at it, check out the past archives. I have over a year's worth of shows, and they're all free to listen to. They're all free to re-listen, and please check it out. See which one pops for you today. That's the way I like to do things. Even with all the class audios and stuff that I have that I listen to, I'll be like, oh, what do I want to listen to? Because, no more linear. And so it's like, oh, I'm going to listen to day 3, audio number 4 of a 7-day class. And it usually has the information that I'm requiring. Okay. So just see which one pops for you. For me, it's like a neon sign. It's kind of like the only thing I can see. So check it out, the archives. I hope they can contribute to you. And, if you guys ever want to have a topic that you want me to cover, please let me know. Donnielle at accessconsciousness.com. DONNIELLE at accessconsciousness.com. I love information of what you guys would like to know about. What questions are you and your body asking that me and my body can contribute to? So please let me know, okay? Check out my website, Donnielle.com, DONNIELLE.com. It's ever-changing, ever-evolving. Things are always being added and subtracted and updated and changed, and I've given up on ever stopping my website. It's always in continuation. You know how that, you never stop, you never start? Well, you never start, you never stop either. So my website is ever-evolving, just like my life. So check it out. And check out all the workshops I'm doing this year. I'm doing a lot of fun ones, 2.5-day Right Body For You workshops. There's a lot of laughter. There's a lot of ahas. There's a lot of body talk. So please check it out. Toronto, Dubai, Egypt, London, Rome, just to name a few of the places I'm going. So please check it out, okay, guys? And I hope you have a fun week, a happy week. Enjoy your body because it's enjoying you. And I hope you join me next week because you know what? I'll be here. So I hope you will be too. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for listening to Right Body For You. Donnielle will return next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on A to Zen.fm. We hope you and your body will join us.